Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffled channel. My name is Niall and today I'm very pleased to be joined by the Tangent 2 Spectrum X5 speakers. Have I got that the right way around, or is it the Spectrum 2s? Is it the 2 Spectrum? I mean, whatever it is a mouthful of a title and we're going to be calling them the Spectrums moving forward in this video. But Tangent are a brand that we're a big fan of here actually. We really like their budget-friendly amplifiers, and the big question that we have is, can they replicate what they do with the amplifiers that they produce, which is make something that's very budget-friendly but performs really, really effectively? Can they replicate that in the speakers, the Spectrums? That's what we're going to be looking at today. If you do enjoy the video, as always, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it. Make sure to subscribe for weekly hi-fi content and let me know your thoughts on the Tangents in the comment section down below. But yeah, the Tangent Spectrum 2s, let's get into it. So let's kick it off with a few of the basic bits, shall we here? So the Spectrums, they're coming to market at £279. They come in both a black finish and a white finish, which is obviously the one that we're joined with here today. They're a very modern looking speaker, very compact. They actually remind me quite a lot of the Wharfedale DS2s, but as sort of a more premium version. I don't know if you guys are aware of those. I'll put a picture on the screen if not, but they're kind of like a more premium, slightly larger DS2 in the way that they look. The Spectrums have like a permanent grille covering both the tweeter and the speaker. This isn't something that can be removed. I think there's some people that will see that as a positive, some will see that as a negative. I think as a design, aesthetically, I think it looks really, really nice. It does mean that obviously you're not going to be able to pull these away to properly look at the tweeter and driver, but the upside to that is obviously it stops fingers, pets, whatever it might be, getting in and potentially causing damage. So I'm sure there's some people that will love this, there's some people that will hate it, but I think as a design, I think it looks pretty great. I think the big positive actually of a grille design like this is obviously you're going to get the protection, making sure the drivers and the tweeter stay safe, but you're also not covering up the rest of the cabinet, which again, I think looks really, really nice. Often, obviously, when you get a grille, you'd be covering the whole of the front facing side of the speaker, but you're almost getting the best of both worlds. But I do understand there are people out there that would want kind of the option to go with or without, but just saying, I quite like it. Dimensions wise, they're coming in at just a shade over 32 centimeters tall, 20.5 centimeters deep, and 16.5 centimeters wide. So as I kind of touched upon there, a very compact speaker that almost kind of not traditional bookshelf large, but then also not desktop small either. They're kind of somewhere in between those two. Each speaker weighs it in at just shy of 4.5 kilograms, and I think that's important because it does feel like they've got a bit of weight to them. Again, this is definitely what I would consider to be a budget speaker, but it doesn't give the appearance, it doesn't feel like a budget speaker. It's got a real feel of quality to it. Despite the cabinet being really simple, it is actually a very effective one with a couple of tricks up its sleeve. For example, we have the concave surround around the tweeter here. That's there to help with the sound dispersion. The rear bass port on the back of the speaker, of course the rear port is on the back of the speaker, where else would it be? That's there to help with the bass management and the low end side of things. You may have also noticed there's a couple of screw holes there that allow you to wall mount the speakers should you want to do so. They do include all the screws in the box for that. That's always a really nice touch. And then you also have some really basic but of a decent quality speaker terminal plugs as well. You're not able to buy wire the Spectrums, but dare I say with a speaker like this, is that something you're ever really going to be looking to be doing anyway? Probably not. And again, the terminals are a good quality. So again, really simple, but a really effective design. Looking at some of the numbers behind the Spectrums here, they have a sensitivity rating of 88 dB, and they have a frequency response range of 60 Hz to 20 kHz. And I do think that that second one there is going to concern some people. I think, especially given the size of the cabinet, does that mean that the low end is going to be lacking? That is something that we're going to come on to. The recommended amplifier power that Tangent suggests is between 20 to 100 watts. Undoubtedly, that's going to be something that they had in mind, that these speakers are something that they would have had in mind to go with something like their Tangent Ampster. We, in fact, paired it up with the Weme Amp Ultra. And I do want to just mention that it's quite interesting to me here how these are a speaker that are on the budget end of the spectrum. Very, very similar to the Eversolos that we looked at last week, the SE100s, both rated 20 to 100 watts, but they're both so different in their design. It's really refreshing to see just Tangent and Eversolo having completely different approaches to a bookshelf speaker. I will put a link to the Eversolo video from last week in the description if you are interested, but just two massively different approaches. Dare I say the Tangents here a little bit traditional in theirs. I will of course also put a link to the speakers in the description down below, so if you do want to check out the specifications in full, the link will take you to Audio Affair. That's where of course we always do all of our listening, put our videos together, so check that out in the description below if you are interested. When it comes to the sound that the Spectrums here put out, it was definitely one that I thought was more on the lively side of things. It was energetic, it was engaging, it was definitely something that leans towards the brighter side of the Spectrum. Pardon the pun there. And one thing again I thought was really interesting is that Tangent, for anyone that doesn't know, are a Danish manufacturer. And when I think of lively, energetic, bright sounding speakers, I often think of Dali, who are another Danish manufacturer. And I just wondered, you know, is that how the Danes like their music, that I like it to be on the brighter side? It's interesting to me because when you think of British hi-fi, you tend to think of it being a bit more warmer, the likes of Water, the likes of Quad. But my experience with the Danish side of hi-fi always tends to be a bit more on the other side of things. Now, is that a coincidence, or is that just how the people in Denmark like their music? It's certainly something that I'm a fan of. As I say, it's very engaging, very energetic, and a very fun listen. As I mentioned when we touched on the tech specs just a moment ago, the low end was a bit of a concern before I'd listened to these, before I plugged them in. I'd seen that frequency response range, and I was thinking these are going to really lack on the bass side of things. But actually, I was pleasantly surprised, and I don't know if that was because I had the low expectations coming into it, but they definitely sounded a little bit punchier than I expected them to. Now, if you were to compare them to a larger bookshelf from the likes of a Wharfedale or a Mission, for example, I don't think the low end gets anywhere near that kind of level. But again, for the size of them, I thought they were plenty punchy enough. And I do see these as a speaker that I think most people would listen to in a musical kind of system, rather than an AV one, which means I think the low end can be a little bit more forgiving. So although I don't think the low end is as good as something like an Wharfedale 10.1, for example, I do think that they are punchy enough, especially when you consider that, again, to me at least, they're going to be something that you're using in a music-based system rather than an AV-based system. I think if you were using them in an AV-based system, say you were that way inclined, these are obviously at that point going to be a rear anyway, and I think with an AV system, you're almost definitely going to be getting a subwoofer involved in some capacity. So again, that tends to be less of a concern. But to me at least, when Tangent designed these, music is what they had in mind. I will say I do think it's a little bit unfair to compare the low-end performance against something like a Wharfedale, to be honest with you, because I don't actually think that's the market that Tangent had in mind, just because of how compact these are. I actually think, ironically, their biggest competition comes from their compatriots in Denmark, Dali, because I think the Cupid one is £20 more expensive than the Tangent here. They're also a very compact speaker. They have a very similar kind of sound signature. And undoubtedly, I think if you're looking at a small speaker, if these are in consideration for you, something like the Cupid definitely will be as well. They're also very modern looking. They have a lot in common against the Cupids. Focusing back on my listening experience with them, as I touched upon, we listened to them using the Weem Amp Ultra, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised again. I've got to say, for a budget speaker, there's so many manufacturers out there right now that produce fantastic speakers for kind of £500 and under. It is super competitive, and the Spectrums here are unquestionably going to be another option for people out there that are definitely worth considering. I mean, my experience, like I say, I found them engaging, lively, quite bright sounding, but I was also pretty impressed with the overall staging of them. I mean, we're not talking insane levels of detail here, don't get me wrong, but I think, you know, I was able to kind of pick out little different elements of the music I was listening to with the presentation, and the vocals were also really prominent and sounded super crisp as well, and that is something that I'm always a really big fan of personally. Whilst they didn't sound horrendously out of place in the Audio Affair test room here, I do think this room is probably a little bit on the larger side for what the Tangents were capable of. Unquestionably, with the way that Tangents have put these together, they're designed to go in a smaller space, and that's definitely where they're going to shine and where you're going to hear the best out of a speaker like this. I mean, can you use them in a large room? Yes, but inevitably, like any small bookshelf really, they are going to get a little bit lost. They're more of a speaker for a bedroom office living room environment rather than a fully fledged music room like we're in here at Audio Affair. Overall, I was a big fan of the Spectrums, I have to say. I think for the £279 price point, you get some really good performance. It is great bang for your buck, but as always is going to be the case with the budget speakers, there is a lot of competition. We've already touched upon the Darley Cupids. I think these are £20 cheaper than the Cupids, so marginally cheaper, similar levels of performance, but big competition, you know, with Darley, with Mission, with Wharfedale. So there's a lot of choice, but 100% the Spectrums are a speaker that a lot of people will consider, and rightfully so, because of the performance that they put out. As I always say, when it comes to budget speakers, I do genuinely believe that every extra £50 you can spend can often unlock an extra layer of performance. So that's always worth considering. Can you push your boat out further? Can you unlock that next level for the relatively small investment, dare I say, extra compared to at the higher level to get those gains? But again, the bang for your buck, definitely there. Performance is great, well designed, well balanced, and just a great overall speaker. They've been on the market for a while now, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have had a chance to listen to the Spectrums, let me know in the comment section down below. Always really interesting to hear your guys' experiences, what you paired them with, how you found the sound. So it'd be great to talk to you all in that comment section. That's going to wrap this one up though, guys. If you did enjoy, as I said at the start, be sure to leave a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for weekly hi-fi content, and we'll catch you all in the next one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.